Extra time.
সফল ভবিষ্যৎ গড়ার একটাই কাহিনী, ছায়া প্রকাশনী।
ছায়া প্রকাশনী।
Hello and a warm welcome to all of you. I, Misha Ghosh, welcome all of you to XtraTime's football preview. As you all know, the FIFA U17 World Cup is just round the corner. A lot of craze and excitement has been gathered for this football extravaganza. Alongside with me is Suman Chakraborty, football commentator and analyst, who will be welcome to the show. The first question, why do you think the FIFA U17 World Cup can change the entire complexion of Indian football?
Well, more importantly, I don't think an event can change the entire complexion of Indian football, but certainly in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the craze, excitement, Under-17 World Cup would be a very, very big thing, to be precise, for Indian football, because this is a kind of a football extravaganza, as you mentioned, which can drag the attention of the entire football fraternity, not just among the Asian football playing nations, but also for those football playing nations who don't even know that India can play football. And another big thing which might come into play is that this is the first time ever in the history of Indian football that an Indian football team will be participating in a FIFA World Cup. Despite the fact this would be a FIFA Under-17 World Cup, but still, a FIFA World Cup is a FIFA World Cup. And as you saw that the venues, the 6 venues, in fact, Kolkata, Goa, Navi Mumbai, in fact at the same time, yes, Guwahati,
Delhi, as well
Delhi. Yes, all the football playing nations have entirely changed the entire complexion of their stadiums, their practice venues, their hotels. So the infrastructure is ready, which the Indian football had the dirt of it. So after this particular FIFA World Cup, the infrastructure will be ready for the forthcoming generations, subsequent generations. At the same time, the Indian national senior team will also get the profit of an established, concreted infrastructure. So that would be a huge boost for sure for Indian football.
Well, my next question to you would be this current Indian team and a comparison with the other Indian teams that has played in competitive football.
Well, more importantly, this team is entirely different compared to the teams which I have seen over the years, because this team is technically so good. They have trained abroad, they have a very much definite training plans, schedule, international exposures, which is very important for the youth setup. And I do believe that this team can do wonders. May not be in this FIFA World Cup, but definitely for sure in the future, because this team at least know how to deal with the international teams who are very much superior to them. I think we have seen how well they played against Belarus. They won the game, and that too in European soil. And they played so well against teams like Brazil, despite the fact that they had lost the game in the BRICS international tournament. But at the same time, they scored a goal. Komal Total, what a wonderful talent he is. And players like Abhijit Sarkar, Sanjeev Stalin, Dhiraj Singh, the goalkeeper, they have a lot of talents, to be precise, which can be very much blossomed over here in the FIFA U17 World Cup. The results is very much irrespective to me. India might not qualify for the quarterfinals, might not qualify for the semi-finals, but at the same time, the amount of exposure which they will be getting, the amount of confidence they will be getting, that will be priceless. And as I mentioned before as well, Luis Norton de Matos, the Indian coach who also worked with the likes of Jose Mourinho in the past, he's bringing a lot of confidence, he's bringing a lot of caliber in him. He's giving the confidence to these young players that yes, you guys can deal with it. And at the same time, we should not forget about Nikolai Adam, despite the fact that he was sacked by the Indian Football Federation, that is All India Football Federation, at least 6-7 months prior to the tournament. But at the same time, we should always consider his contribution to this Indian team, because he has done remarkably well with this Indian side. All these players should be competing in this FIFA U17 World Cup donning the Indian national team jersey are being scouted by Mr. Nikolai Adam, and he has groomed this Indian team for the last 3-4 years. So it will be entirely different compared to the other teams which played in this particular age group, to be precise, for the Indian national team.
Well, my next question would be, what are the teams we are about to look out apart from India? teams to look out for?
Well, eyes would certainly be on Brazil. Though Vinicius Junior, one of the key players of this Brazilian team, who is also very much a Flamengo product, and then got signed by
Real
the Spanish
Madrid.
giant Real Madrid by a whooping 50 million euro, and he would be a huge miss in terms of the Brazilian team's perspective. But still, as we all know, Brazilian football and South American football, they don't just depend on a single individual. So they have abundance of talent, and at the same time, I do believe that Brazilian football is going through a very good music right now. Even with the national team as well, they're going through a very good patch. And we always believe, because we the Indians are big fans of Brazilian football. So even in Kolkata, when the Senior World Cup happens, the entire city gets divided into two halves. One is Brazil, one is Argentina, despite the fact that Argentina will be competing in this FIFA U17 World Cup. But still, Brazil will be playing, not in Kolkata, but surely eyes would be on them for sure. France, as we all know, in terms of the young prodigies, France are the best in the business in the world. I mean, over the years, if you give a close look at it, players like Hatem Ben Arfa, players like Blaise Matuidi, players like Paul Pogba, players like Antoine Griezmann. I mean, all these players are coming up from this FIFA U17 World Cups, as well as their their U17 setup. So this would be a huge platform for the players who would be playing for the France national team in this FIFA U17 World Cup. Eyes would certainly be on Germany. They are the reigning world champions. So definitely, it's being much talked about their youth setup, their youth development, their scientific progress in international football. So there'd be a force to reckon with for sure. Eyes would certainly be on Ghana. They are 2 times U17 World Cup champions. And India should be very much concerned about Ghana, because 3 of their players are very much linked with European top-tier clubs. Their coach, who has been associated with this team since 2011. So he knows this team like his own palm of his hand. So Ghana would be a tough team for sure. USA, the USA is also there in the Indian group, in Group A. I should be on them as well, because Team Weah, the man to watch out in India's group, because he is the son of the great George Weah, and the Liberian legend. So Team Weah will be a very good player. At the same time, the centre forward, the number 9, he also represented in the FIFA U20 World Cup, and that too in the same year. So how much of talent he possesses, that he's playing this FIFA U17 World Cup, and that too for the first time in the history of American football. So he scored 4 goals as well in the FIFA U20 World Cup. So USA will also be a force to reckon with. Among the Asian teams, I should certainly be on Japan and Iraq, because Iraq, they have done so well in U17-11 in the last couple of years. They've defeated teams like Croatia. They have defeated teams like New Zealand. They have defeated teams like Paraguay. So they are a very strong team on paper, Iraq. At the same time, Japan, eyes would be on Yobo. He'd be playing his 2nd U17 World Cup this time around. So that young lad has already been monitored by Barcelona. So he would be a force to reckon with in terms of the Japanese team. So yes, there are quite a few teams. In fact, all the teams who will be playing in this FIFA U17 World Cup, they have qualified except India, who gets the direct entry as the host nation. But all the other countries who will be playing in the FIFA U17 World Cup, they have earned their positions. So all teams should be giving a tough fight to each other.
Well, now coming to Group A, we have India, Colombia, Ghana and USA. Your predictions?
Well, as Indian football fan, Indian football supporter, I would say that I'd be happy even if India can finish as a 3rd in this Group A, because that could also be a huge feat. Don't forget, this Indian team lost to Iraq just by a solitary goal prior to this FIFA U17 World Cup. So they have the firepower within. and they'll be getting the support of their home soil, to be precise. So people will be turning up in numbers just to support them, just to back them. And at the same time, which I firmly believe, teams like USA, teams like Ghana, if they feel that this Indian team can easily be slaughtered on the field, they're living in a full silence. Take a note of my word, this Indian team can surprise any opposition on their own day. And it's time not to criticize them. It's time not to say any negative words. It's time to back the Blues. It's time to support the Blue Tigers.
Well, that's it for now. Catch you in the next episode.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on XtraTime.